Okay, so hi, Atul. It's really great connecting with you after a long time. And
Yeah,
heartiest congratulations on achieving your 10 crore milestone. It's really a big moment in the life of any wealth manager, any financial advisor. So we'd just like to talk to you for a few minutes and
yeah,
understand what helped you come here. So first of
sure.
all, my question is: you are a successful banker, worked with firms like HSBC, Bank of America, American Express. So what made you choose this career, this path?
Right. So first of all, thanks Anurag and your team for giving me this opportunity. We have interacted in the past informally, but I think a formal interaction around some of the things that have happened to me in terms of my experience with Nivesh and my business growth in general. It's exciting to be part of this interaction today. So coming to your question, see, you are right. I've always managed senior positions in several international banks, but to be honest, these were always in the wholesale banking or institutional banking space. And I was at the same time a multi-asset investor throughout my life. I've been doing that. So I did manage my own financial planning very well. So I got financially free at the age of 51 and hung my boots. And I was thinking as to what to do. So first thing which was it is dear to me was dear to me was I wanted to be an educator. An idea was to share my experience and my knowledge as a multi-asset investor and help, bringing up the financial awareness amongst younger adults. That's how it started. People who are stepping into college or stepping out of colleges, getting a new job, or new parents with a kid. That's how it started. And in fact, I started with my own home. Basically, my daughter got married and then her husband, and I started as a test case with her, and it really kind of showed results. So, and then came COVID. And when COVID came, my other business, which is the consulting part on the corporate banking side, basically collapsed. The model kind of went haywire. And that's where I kind of put together my new brand, which is PowerMyMoney. And that was primarily towards financial education for, again, young adults and let's say 40, up to 40, 25 to 40 age, which I later expanded. And while this was happening, I think it was very, very satisfying, something that I still continue. One of my clients actually asked me, because one of the things that I will do, we'll talk about what products, then people will come with their personal questions, and I would advise them in terms of recommending, saying what's good for them, what not. And now that they have product knowledge, they will say, and then somebody said, so why don't you start offering these products to us? Why do we have to go to multiple um, shops or basically touch points or sales points or guys or brokers, what you want to call them. And that's where my journey on the commercial side of Power My Money started. And now, before that, I'd also, when I was doing education, I also said I need to equip myself. So I went and took some certifications. So I'm a certified financial education instructor from NFEC USA. And I think that helped to build trust with the clients that here's a guy who may be a banker, maybe a multi-asset investor, brings a lot of practical knowledge, but he's also qualified in terms of offering knowledge about personal finance. Now, when the option came now means for me to move towards a commercial venture, I started looking for who should I tie up. And somewhere I was looking at not a situation where I wanted to hire anybody under my. I wanted to be a single sole operator, writer, founder of my company, and I said I'm looking for platforms which can assist me in terms of right turnkey basis, right from onboarding till execution, and then kind of supporting the clients in all forms and fashion. And that's where after taking my ARN code from MP, I was looking around, and that's where I came across Nivesh, and that's my journey started. One of the things which I am also excited about this business, why this business, somebody who has been an investment banker, is I was also looking for a business which is inflation proof. What do I mean by that? And this is the benefit for people who might be listening to this, is the fact that you want your income also to grow as the inflation grows. And so there are certain businesses which will always happen. People will always avail those services irrespective of the state of economy. And this is one business where um, people know that when we are dealing as distributors of various products, especially when it comes to certain categories of AUMs, inflation when and the markets rise along with that, your earnings also grow. So there's a natural hedge from inflation in this business, and that's what I started. That's why I started with this business.
No, absolutely great to hear. I think knowledge sharing is extremely important in this business, and as you rightly said, opportunities are immense. I think we're just starting on the path of wealth creation for most of the Indians. So far, I think it was this kind of service was only available to the higher end HNI, ultra HNI customer.
True.
But I think now is the time that affluents are waking up to the wealth management requirements, and I think we're seeing surge of investors coming into mutual funds and other financial assets. So you reached AUM of 10 crore in just 24 months, which is really,
Yeah.
really great. I think very few people are able to do that. So what's been the secret sauce, if I can ask, if, something that you'd like to share? What worked in your favor?
Okay. Okay, we'll talk about Nivesh at some point if there's a section on that. Why Nivesh? How would Nivesh help me?
Or we
Nivesh
can
has
we
a
can just combine. You can just talk about like
okay,
how Nivesh
but
helped in this entire process versus and what
yeah.
you
So
did,
first, yeah.
you know.
Okay. So I've always had a background in terms of sales and relationship and having managed businesses. So that came as an advantage. But if somebody wants to start a new business, they need to look at it differently. And clearly, as I mentioned, I was moving from wholesale and institutional space to retail space. I had to also think differently. So two ways you can look at how I did my journey. One is in terms of the skill set which is needed for this kind of business, soft skill versus hard skill, and we can look at that way. I had the technical skills, I had the soft skills. So for me, it was more of the second way to look at how to build this business. Client acquisition is the approach to follow. And this is what I would like to emphasize for all my friends who will be watching this particular interaction is as they step out to grow their business is the approach. So first and foremost, I strongly believe it's a firm conviction that anything you're starting, any venture, whether it's a business or a relationship of any nature, you first of all need to know what's the purpose of what's the ikigai in Japanese term? What is the sole purpose of doing this business? Now, most of us may look at this business for monetary benefits, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's one key advantage of building this particular business. But also, sometimes, like in my case, there was additional purpose, as I mentioned, that I wanted to help, I wanted to share, give it back to the community. Now, irrespective of where you stand in this particular spectrum, and you may have somebody may just earn. I know a friend who's earning, and he just simply, as a philanthropist, donates that money, supporting certain institutions. Whatever your reason of doing this business is, that purpose is something that will help you, first of all, remain focused on this particular business in terms of when the ups and downs comes, you remain focused. Obviously, I think then the second part is client acquisition. Now, client acquisitions does not happen in terms of you just kind of people start coming to you. So the first step I followed was I put up my Insta pages. I have an Insta page for both my corporate finance as well as PowerMyMoney. Also LinkedIn posts and all. But more importantly, some of the partners, especially in the smaller towns, may not be having these skills to do social media marketing. And honestly, I don't do much of that because my focus is something else. I want to deal with select group of clients. But whosoever wants to start this business and grow this business, you need to be active in some form of fashion on a social media platform. And idea is what? Idea is simply spreading the awareness. Now, most of the people do the mistake, which is not a mistake. I'm using a word. Mistake is you try to kind of force your near and dear ones to start investing through you. Now, that may work for some, but most of the people will realize it doesn't work because money has a psychological factor also around that. Where your near and dear ones specifically don't want to share their failures or their success or their wealth, those kind of information with you. However, you still need to talk to them because if they do not do business with you, but somebody else in their network is thinking of doing investing and they need some help, you will come at the top of mind, and then the same near and dear one will give you a referral business. And that has really helped me. Most of my family and close friends have not invested through me, barring a couple of them, but they've given me solid referrals. So create awareness, spread the word, so that as and when any discussion happens into a potential investor's mind, they know you are doing, so they can approach you. And obviously there are several solutions to do lead generations. I'll not go into that. That's very individual decision whether you want to invest in a lead generating solution. I have not. But once you get certain leads through referrals or through social media, you get some people reach out to you. First and foremost is spend some time. So I normally spend 3 to 4 meetings. People will be surprised. I don't come to the straight point of just how much they need to invest to do their goal planning and all. Even as it is, as per SEBI, we are restricted in terms of our ARN membership as to what we can advise and what we cannot. So one has to be very, very careful. But idea is be patient, try to understand the client needs before you start pitching the products. And very importantly, there are certain programs which people, if they Google, I think on various free platforms which help you understand the money personalities of your potential investors. And that's something I follow so that helps you fine tune or match your personality style with the person whom you're talking to or interacting with. So I have used that to advantage. And that would be helpful if somebody wants to do this business. There are ample number of free courses. During those interactions, the idea is to do all the objection handling. I do not pitch the product. I don't pitch Nivesh. I just talk to them. I hear them out
Hmm.
as to what they're doing. More importantly, which has worked for me, I don't know how many people have used this. Every family we have seen when we were growing up, there's a psychological part to money management. There's one person, one of the parents, or one key guy is a decision maker. I, without trying to find out who's the decision maker, if I'm dealing with a couple, I try to get at least first couple of meetings with both husband and wife.
Hmm.
And the idea is then their collective responsibility comes in. Sometimes the leads come from the person who who is not active in making those decisions, but is aware that maybe the other partner is not doing enough and they have concerns, and they bring out those anxieties, and that becomes an opportunity to discuss. Since both of them are there, the other guy who's the key guy in terms of financial decision making cannot object because that's a true need coming from his family structure. So that is very important. And once objection handling is done, obviously you do client onboarding. Now, on that, this process, what has helped me, and I think, which is what I will tell my other friends, is you need to have a solid product knowledge, not just the product knowledge, also what's happening in the markets. And Anurag, you and I know how SEBI and other regulators, as well as not just in India, other markets also, regulators have been changing the regulatory landscape pretty fast. And that's becomes the biggest. So most of the people think objection handling is about returns on the product. No, not in my case. I've seen it's more about they don't have the time or they're not educated enough as to what's happening. Sometimes the returns are also linked, rather most of the times are also linked to the underlying movements, whether it's monetary policy, whether it's a regulatory change, dealing with NRIs, certain kind of funds only will they can invest in. When it's certain markets, there's a limited scope of investing in mutual funds. You need to be aware of all those things, and that has really helped me in terms of breaking the ice, building the trust. And again, when they see that, I'm not even talking about investing. I
Hmm.
spent 3 hours or 3 meetings with them, and I'm just talking with them, it automatically starts. They start sharing more. Once that's done, your job is done. And then that's where Nivesh comes in because Nivesh as a platform has helped me in terms of managing front end as well as back end, both things seamlessly. So much so that this platform, unlike many other distributions I was trying to platforms I was trying to tie up when I was setting this business, there's no fee for becoming a partner. And plus, while there's a soft push, nobody is going to breathe down my neck. And that's was my first condition. Don't breathe down my neck. Nobody's going to bother you in terms of saying sales targets. Idea is grow this business, enjoy this business while you're doing it. We are there to support you. And that's where Nimesh I found really good, not just in terms of the digital interface or the ease of using the app, but more so also in terms of the team that you have put up, Anurag. And one thing I also like is the diversity in your team. I see lot many ladies also in your team, which
Right.
uh, it's a fact, it's a psychological fact. Ladies handle objections much better than men.
Right.
So I've
Right.
seen at
Absolutely.
times in my interactions, a lady service RM has given me much more than my RM might give. Okay.
Right.
Nothing wrong about both of them, but it's just the trust factor is much high. And same thing transpires when they are talking to my clients, when I hand over my clients saying, this is the objection, this is the issue, can you help? And when they talk, it really helps because a lady is speaking, some of that integrity or the trust factor is higher when we are dealing with the fair sets. Okay. So that's something very good. And then, so basic idea is a good execution. Is that important? Very much. Because two things happen. A good execution has given me a lot of new referrals because when the guy is happy, client satisfaction is good. He's happy to put his name behind a referral because see, everybody has a niggle in their back of mind. What if I recommend and I'm recommending a close friend of mine and his money doesn't do well or he
Right,
faces issues.
absolutely,
So once
absolutely.
he's satisfied, he's happy to do that. The reverse is also true. A bad client execution can lead you to a
Yes.
loss of business. So I think client execution is very well. And then comes the most difficult part, maintaining the relationship. And that's where I think over a period of time, it's a long tail business. I think you and I discussed when we were talking some other time. People are investing for long term goals. Some people are retiring for a lifestyle goal at the end of age of 60. Some people are talking about education, which is a long term goal. Some people are simply want to have wealth creation. When it's a long term business, you need to have a long term approach. Basically, a relationship approach rather than having a sales approach, which is transactional. Sales is very transactional. You invest, I make my money, and I don't care about you. No, not that. It will not give you a repeat business. A relationship approach will keep the client tied up with you. And then what compounding you're offering to your customer through the product or the markets, the
Right.
same compounding happens on your business as well in terms of the AUMs that you can capture from the same client. And lastly, what I have done very well, I still need to do it better, but it has worked so far very well. And I admit that I have to do more on this. Is the fact that Nivesh offers me not just mutual funds. You are offering me products, a wide range of products. You're offering me capability of offering all types of insurance just by being a partner, whether I'm qualified as per ID or not. We can do most of low risk or medium risk insurance, which we can do within the guidelines. Company FDs, new age products, peer-to-peer lending, you are doing invoice discounting. Now, all these things are adding one extra kind of, ace up your sleeve. You need not be talking to clients always about mutual fund. You can actually open the discussion by, and I've done that by talking about getting a meeting to talk about some new exciting product has come, a peer-to-peer, he doesn't understand. So first you teach them, make them aware. And then where they invest on B2B or not, you actually create opportunities to talk up again about something else that you want to offer. So that's how I've grown my business. And that's what I think Nivesh, in addition to my own approach, my skill set, Nivesh has been there as a backbone of the business. Couple of items that I might have missed out, but so I did speak about superior digital interface. I spoke about the 24 by 7 approach. Your reporting is very nice. In fact, if you're dealing with HNIs, and I have managed my own home office and my own portfolio, there are certain types of reports and certain types of formats which your CAs will need for tax filing. And that's what I think your interface in terms of generation of those reports, even an RTA, is
Hmm.
so simple. I mean, my some of my portfolio is sitting on some other platform because I can't be dealing with my own money, right? As a
Right.
distributor. But I've seen, I can compare how easy it is to execute an order, follow the order, the reporting part, very easy. And I teach my clients. So the best thing is I teach my clients to do these things. A, they feel empowered. B, less time I have to spend on managing those basic needs like downloading a capital gains realized report. Yeah. And last but not the least is your product and market research. Now, uh, give you an anecdote if we have time. I have a couple of overseas clients. One of them is a CFO in a fintech company. And we have had discussions on not just about India, about US in general, some other markets. And the team that you have does give us information in terms of when Fed meetings happen. We don't get the complete detail like an investment banker I used to get, but you do get snippets in terms of what transpired, basic parameters on US economy, which is the largest economy, and then again some markets. Euro, I think they cover a bit, and in detail, Indian markets. Very, very helpful. I, in fact, look at that thing, and if there's no internal information, I forward those. I first go through that. If there's nothing internal for meant for partners, but can be shared with the clients, I do share with the clients. So it's like a regular reminder going to them. There's somebody who's helping them, somebody's looking after their portfolios, trying to teach them more, make them more, keep them informed. And even products, the regular calls that we have, whether it's insurance or any other new product, I think those things have been excellent. So I must
Really,
recommend,
yeah.
I must commend you and your team in terms of putting up this platform. Uh, I'm a stickler. I must say, I'm a stickler for perfection. I love your platform.
That's really great to hear your insights, Atul, and really, I think I can't thank you enough for giving us this motivation. And I think the relationship has worked really well because see, we look at ourselves as a platform that can help the wealth manager or an IFA end to end. And
True.
your role is to engage with the customer, provide the all the insights, knowledge, and help them on their wealth journey. And that's what we really aspire for. And it makes us really happy when we see that relationship really working out the way we had thought when we started this initiative. So really, really good. But any particular feature that you like within Nivesh, and do your
Oh,
clients log
this,
in and they also look
yeah, yeah,
into
yeah.
platform?
So the best thing you have done is this cart
Right,
feature.
right.
I don't have to look at anything coming from BSC Star and then going there, clicking a link. Sometimes you click a link through a email. You can't put the OTP because that's coming.
That was a pain.
They're
BSC
basic.
was a pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here you're getting a four digit code. One single code comes to your SMS. Less than 5 seconds, the trade is done. Now started teaching kids. Basically, I do goal-based investing. And I use the goal feature very well. Of course, there are certain changes that I may still need in terms of being able to modify or move from one goal to another. But
Mhm.
that's a feedback I'm sure being looked into. But primarily, my customers today know if they want to redeem, they just simply inform I need 24,000 bucks. I'm redeeming this for this goal. I say, go ahead. And I can always, while they're doing, I can see in my in my app, I can see what they have put. I get, I think a notification also comes
Yes.
that this guy is doing this much. And then I see, and they find it very easy because everybody is used to an SMS based OTP, right?
Right. Right.
Various things we do in life, whether it's purchases on Amazon, everywhere.
Right.
So
Right.
this is the best feature you have done, really.
Great. Great to hear. We feel, in fact, there is a dearth of people like you. More such people are required because see, we have large population and there is a lot of new generation. And also we see affluent class in tier two, tier three towns. They have a lot of wealth,
That's right.
but not access to this kind of services. So we see a lot of new entrepreneurs who are becoming part of our platform. But what's your advice, to somebody who wants to get into this profession?
So I think first couple of things I touched about, which were on the value side, where I said integrity, trust. Integrity helps you build trust. Transparency is very important. And I don't think anybody needs to be scared of the fact that we do get commission on the funds. So, there's a raging dialogue. So when the industry started mutual funds, that initiative has its own advantage. And that's the right spirit, that customer investors are aware, they are aware as to what it takes. Now, what is also happening is there's a lot of misinformation also, which is spread by parties, typically some fintechs, who claim that they're not charging any money.
Hmm.
But again, there's no free lunch, as we all know. So somewhere else, they are making money somewhere else. So can we question them? Do we question them? Now, coming to somebody who wants to be in this business, don't be scared. This is not the end of it. This is just one of the objection. Take it as an objection handling, which is generated through some industry spread, some partners, some portion of industry which is spreading those misinformation. You have other objection handling which will come from various psychological issues, or let's say I'm dealing with a couple, their money investing style, their backgrounds, how they learned money management. All those things will happen. So you need to have patience, perseverance. It's like any other business where, and that's where I said, if you know why you're in this business, then I think you are remaining focused. And the second part is then use the tools. And tools is primarily one is for, as I said, customer life cycle, right from onboarding till maintaining until exit, whenever that exit happens. Let's say somebody retires and then starts using. Actually, it's a more interesting part when you go into retirement. That's a
Right.
far more complex kind of a thing where you would actually nobody ever exits your business if you've done your job well. Because that's where when they stop earning money, you actually give them more advice. So
Yes.
this is
Then
an
you know
exciting
more at that
business.
time that how to really on there.
It's an exact, and again, you do not know. So when we do a retirement planning, and this is for my friends who might be watching this, you are looking at inflation risk and then you're building out a portfolio saying, this is the corpus we need to do, this is the retirement, which is 30 years hence, 20 years hence. But the same inflation risk, you cannot quantify along with the longevity risk that you can't quantify when you're looking at retirement planning. So guys, this is a business which if you build well, if you stick to this business is completely inflation proof. As the economy grows in an inflation economy, GDP grows, business grows, investments will grow, your AUM grows, your commissions grow. And be transparent. Even as SEBI requires, first of all, SEBI requires us to be transparent in terms of we are offering regular funds. So why be scared about that? And have that conviction. I always tell my clients when we talk about what's in it for me, and I say, I'm expecting trust from you. I'm expecting transparency from you. And I offer transparency in the sense I have I have a family where two brothers are managing through me. And that's the trust I build that one brother will not know what other brothers' revenues are, income is. That's the trust you need to build. And that will happen only if, as a partner, you have a very strong conviction that you are there to help people. So think of not this as a money making, because once you start looking at just making money, then you are also becoming transactional. You're not bothered about relationship. So build your relationship with the money also. That's my line to my clients. Can we teach our clients to build that relationship with the money? And you do as a partner with them, helping them how to realize the relationship money. So move away from a transactional, think big. Things will happen. Money is a byproduct. Build your business. This business is like a royalty business. I also say, you
Yes,
write a
absolutely.
book,
Mm.
yeah, one piece book sales, you get a trickle. It's like that. You build your business, your AUM automatically grows as the market grows. Reverse
In
is
fact,
also true,
yeah,
but hopefully you do a long tail business, you ride the market troughs, and you are a winner.
absolutely. In fact, I can tell you like the time that you've taken to come to 10 crore, I think in a similar time frame, you'll hit 50 crore, right? That's
Yeah.
the power of this business. And, then 50 to 100. And so sky is the limit. It all depends on, how well you execute, how much
It's
time,
like the
effort you put
margin
in.
velocity. There's a margin velocity. It'll come a point where business goes
Yes,
shoots. And that's the
absolutely.
level one needs to reach. Till then, business is very hard. But
Yes,
once you start seeing the results, you'll start enjoying this business. For
yes,
me personally, this business also gives you a lot of time. So somebody who's my age, or let's say thinking of starting something new, you have done your bit, you are trying to be gainfully employed, maybe for money, maybe not for money. This is one thing. It gives you ample time to do things that are on your bucket list, as well as helps me manage my own portfolio. I mean, now I'm applying reverse learnings from my client portfolios to my own portfolio.
right.
So when I start out, I'm saying I'm a multi-asset investor. I bring a experiential kind of a learning and approach to managing your money. I am also benefiting. So this business gives you back to even manage some of those solutions for your own business, because all of us have a classic blind spot somewhere. We don't see those things which can work for us also.
Yes, yes.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
No, great, great, Atul. Great talking to you. And
Pleasure is
congratulations
mine.
again. Best
Thank you.
wishes for the future. And we'll keep in touch. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot for your time, and I appreciate your finding time to interact with me today. Thank you.
Always pleasure speaking to partners like you, Atul.
Thank you.